Demonic Satan.
What is happening, Captain? I don't know what the fuck. I was like, what's happening, Captain? I was like,
What's happening, Captain?
What's happening, Captain? What's going on, everybody out there? Twitch, you are very special because you're getting this episode literally weeks and weeks in advance.
We think you're special. But that doesn't mean you're not excused from tuning in, and actually...
That's why I yelled at Dutch. I was like, you fucking still download the episodes, you piece of shit. Yeah, we're getting up there on Spotify. So thank you to all the listeners on Spotify.
Thank you to all our Spotify listeners, all of our patrons, everybody. Yeah. We love all of you.
Right off the top, thank you for everyone who supports this show. We usually say it at the ending, but you know what? I'll put it in your ear now. Thank you guys. Thank all the hose heads out there that support and love this show. Give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to us.
Yes, please. And we do this for you because we love you.
Yes. You know what?
Like, we're slightly egomaniacs, so it works.
No, and we don't really mention it. It's like we do, like, this show is a lot of work, especially on my end, for making sure everything's ready, done, set up. And, we don't really say it often, but, we do this show for free and don't really ask for much and shit like that. We don't really run ads all the time and shit like that. I try to throw in some ads for other podcasts if they need it and stuff like that. But mostly we're doing this for free for you guys until we get a little more established and up in the ranks. And how you can help us for free is literally just leaving a 5-star review and rate us, because it'll get our numbers up in the podcast world.
Even if the review is something as simple as I watch the video and I flick it to Tom.
Yeah, something simple. I don't give a fuck. No, we forgot to do. Are you recording there, bud?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah, me neither. So we got to make sure we remember to do all that shit.
Are we going to run out to SD now, or?
Yeah, we got to do it.
Editing. This is more editing, and for our Twitch listeners, again, you guys get the raw cut, so you're welcome.
Raw cuts.
All right, I'm recording now. We're ready to go.
Let's clap it in real quick.
Fine.
You know what? And we should do it eventually. Is when for all the Twitch listeners, we might think about doing this. And everything like that. We'll actually do a restart for this episode, but I was thinking for you, it's there's certain podcasts that do kind of like where it's like you come in, it's like a totally different show than ours. Like one of Holden's shows, and how they have people tune in, and we could do it for Patreon or maybe for Twitch and Patreon because we don't have too many people. But like, once we start getting into big research episodes, like doing a little like fan sit down thing where they see us go through, how we're gonna get the episode structured, and kind of like a fun little thing.
Are you talking the Brew Sunday study session?
Yeah, like almost kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like something a little fun like that where people can kind of tune in. And
I've been re-listening to a whole bunch of their shit lately too, and checking out a bunch of new episodes.
Great. I fucking
love it. I love that show. But anyways, what are we talking about today, Tom?
Let's bring it back in.
Are we talking?
Wait, we're gonna bring it back in, you piece of shit.
We are bringing it back in. I want to talk about the devil.
Okay, say something about the devil. We'll bring it in there.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome to hell.
What's going on, everybody out there? What's up? We're creeping up to the spooky season. You can hear the fucking devil talking in the background.
Yes, I'm constantly talking over Thomas because he never shuts the fuck up.
That's fucking true. That is very true. I've heard that before, and I'm trying to let fucking Billy talk because I always cut him off. It's hard.
Shut up, Tom.
It's true, because it's hard. Fucking Billy always gets my mind fucking going. Where I'm like, he hits a joke, and then I'm like, oh, that's funny. Let's fucking I gotta get on topic. And just off the hop, thank you to all of our Spotify listeners. We appreciate you. Thank you for wherever you listen to us, honestly. And as I've said kind of before, that we really appreciate the people that support the Patreon. There's a lot of stuff coming for that. There's tons of stuff that I haven't even released on the Patreon yet that is kind of waiting. I'm getting ready to put it out. But no, we really appreciate and love all the host heads out there. That's what we call you guys.
Hats off to you.
And you know what? We don't try to run a lot of ads on here. Sometimes we do. And, we do this for free for you guys and, all the fans and the host heads out there. But the best way to support us is obviously Patreon. But you know what? If you're broke, got no money to support us and to keep the lights on, 5-star reviews, everybody. Give us 5-star reviews, rate and review us, because that will bring us higher and higher up on the podcast charts. We are starting to do fairly well on Spotify and other platforms. So we thank you guys. We love you guys. And I'm super stoked to get into the Halloween season. As you know, this is my fucking favorite time of the year.
It's the most magical time of the year. And honestly, on those 5-star reviews, even if you just want to put hashtag shut the fuck up, Tom.
Yeah.
But make sure it accompanies a 5-star. And
put an LOL after, so I know that you're joking.
JK, a little winky face or something.
Yeah. I'm getting better at not fucking cutting off Billy and Anton. We'll get there, especially since I have microdosed. And what my brain's like, pew 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 pew.
He's fixing all the years of chronic alcoholism.
Larry. Pew pew, Gary. All right, fucking. So for this episode, yeah, your fucking camera's tripping out, man.
I know, dude. It's all right. Let's fucking go. Ain't anything we're gonna do about it now.
The sources for this episode, we got articles by Melanie Moyer, by Julie Kunikiki, and Marlene Loveland. And for all the fans out there,
Marlene related to the Loveland Frog Monster.
That's what I'm thinking. And I was just thinking of that because I've showed Anton a little preview. But I'm making a essentially like a jokey kind of rap song. It's called The Cryptid Party, and I don't know when it's gonna be released, but I've halfway written it, and it is fairly funny. I'm trying to. It's
a lot of fun, people. So stay tuned for that.
I'm trying to include every single cryptid I can by making it kind of jokey. Like it's gonna be a fun little ditty, you could say. But Anton, what are we getting into on this fucking spooky episode?
The Gateway to Hell. I'm getting into some sweet Satan today. We're doing some fucking witch murder. We're gonna get into a little bit of desecrated churchyards and maybe even famous pop star claiming that she got cursed by
more than one. You'll see.
All right. Well, we're not counting the Pope as a famous pop star, okay?
Well, he kind of is to little boys.
Not that Pope. That Pope, I think, was more or less on the up and up.
Would you say Stull Cemetery?
Stull.
Stull.
Yeah.
Like a bathroom stall.
Look, all I'm thinking about is sucking dick in a bathroom, okay? Judge me.
How many bathrooms have you been in that have glory holes? Because I've never seen one.
I've never been in any bathroom that has glory holes, but I've definitely been in cruising bathrooms before. But none of them have glory holes. But I've worked in porno theaters that had places that had glory holes. So
why don't they have glory holes everywhere, man?
Because I think if you put so most cruising shit is done like on the sly. Because a lot of the people that cruise are married men.
Yeah, it's true.
So a glory hole is almost like a dead giveaway, and I think that would lead to more sting operations than anything.
You would have loved, oh my God, when I was on mushrooms outside watching a horror movie, Chelsea, I like stood up and got this whole like jokey rant about like guys that go to cruising spots because Chelsea doesn't really know about it. And I was like, it's like guys just go out in the fucking woods and they're like, hey, do you also want to get your dick sucked? And it's like, yeah, I do. And it's just like, I was doing this whole little rant.
Yeah, you go
dying laughing.
You go in the woods, you pull your dick out, you go to take a piss, and you look around, and the other person makes eye contact with you, and then you go from there.
You see a guy peek behind a tree, and he's like, I've been waiting for you.
That would be weird. I feel like you're supposed to be kind of out in the open while cruising. You're not supposed to be cartoonish, just like, oh, hello. Mighty fine dick you've got there.
I can't remember the whole rant, but man, mushrooms always like changes my perspective and thought on stuff. And it's more like
you won't remember shit the next day.
Joking. I've remembered a lot of my mushroom trips, but there's certain like things because I'm also like starting to like, drink halfway through the trip and stuff like that. I don't know eventually when I'll ever get sick of mushrooms, but I'm like addicted to being on mushrooms now, where it's just like I enjoy being happy because it legitimately makes me more happy than waking life.
Yeah, waking life is stupid.
But I'm super excited for the Halloween season because I've convinced Chelsea. I was like, it's gonna be cool, but I don't give a fuck. I want to watch at least like 2 or 3 movies outside.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Maybe even the new Hocus Pocus movie.
Bette Midler's a TERF.
Yeah, what's that mean?
She's a trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Really?
Yeah, she put it tweet. It means that she doesn't recognize trans women as women, is what it means. Which is funny because if you look at Bette Midler, we're your whole fucking fan base, bitch.
Yeah,
like
I know, I get it.
Like the community is your fan base. I don't know who you're trying to market to. Most of the old women who listen to you are fucking dead or have dementia right now. Yeah. I don't understand it. And it was like she tweeted it shortly after the Hocus Pocus 2 was announced, and they released the stills and all of the images of everybody.
Woke
and I feel like she might have cashed in her get out of jail free card that we in the community gave her for being herself for all these years. because
Yeah.
nobody's really talking about it anymore, and I feel like we're kind of like, you get one, that's it. Say it again.
You know my stance.
you'll get
I'm in the fucking middle. We've had talks about this.
We've had many talks about this, but that's not the topic for today. The
No,
topic
it's
for
not
today
the topic.
is Stull Cemetery.
Yeah. As the days get shorter and the night sky holds domination over the planet, 'tis the season for the undead and the unbelievable and the unexplained. And though there are many recipes for what we call these tales of horror, these spooky stories passed down from generation to generation, these urban legends, the main ingredients remain the same. Often things that are most familiar can be the most frightening, you might say. That took me a long time to find that.
I didn't have I can't do a creaking door all that well. I can do wind pretty good, but I can't do
Cringy ass bitch.
Yes, you are, but you haven't mispronounced anything yet, so
We'll see. The church on the corner, the whispering cornfields, a broken streetlight, an old bridge, a widow's peak. After all, spooky stories have to start in some way. It's usually with a glimmer of the truth that leads itself into the fantasy and the exaggeration of the fanatical. Like every great genre, there are tropes to be met. Just like the classic hero's journey, obviously there has to be victors, fables, and have life lessons. Mysteries have surprisingly, obviously they also reveal this type of romanticism. Obviously happily ever afters, hauntings, and headless horsemen always seem to follow a certain path. It's a very spooky time, a very spooky season, and this is more or less, you could say, like somewhat of a urban legend.
Yeah, and so much of it like stories like this and like the comparison you made to the Headless Horseman, so much of that is just rooted in early like frontier and colonized America and stuff, which is like, I think a lot of it represents the fears of many people who are maybe first generation Americans that aren't Europeans anymore. And you had a lot to contend with too. I mean, you had rampant death, you had attacks, you had, starvation, you had disease. And, in times of great stress, people generally look for explanations. And from an already very superstitious group of people, also known as the Anabaptists, for those of you that don't know, that will later become the Amish.
I was going to ask you what the fuck that was.
So an Anabaptist is a Puritan of sorts, but essentially the modern day equivalent to them. And I could be wrong on this. And if I am, strange brew at Gmail.
The Amish. I like their way of life.
Why? They have a lot of really fucking dark shit about them.
I know they do, and I'd like to talk about it one day.
I mean,
I like
dark shit.
Oh, for sure, man, and that's why I would want to join. I'm just fucking kidding. But like the idea, right? Like now they're cracking down on them a bit. But this is especially because of fucking doing mushrooms. I said to Chelsea, I was like, you know what? Because now I'm reverting back to this primeval. Like I just want to fucking live off the land and live in a fucking teepee. Because I watched Prey, and
what did you think?
I really liked it. I thought the script writing, I thought it was like really well done. Some of the script writing, maybe because it wasn't meant to be written in English, is kind of dry. Like,
why didn't you watch it in Comanche like I told you to?
I don't like subtitles. Chelsea watches everything in subtitles and it bothers me. And she's on the OC right now. She keeps watching the OC and all I have is California, here we come. Oh my God. Fuck
that.
Every day. And I'm like watching while I research and I'm like kind of like getting into the show and I'm like, no. But
it happened to me with Pretty Little Liars. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Or I don't know if it was that or it was something else entirely.
I also like that shit.
One of my friends was watching one of the tweeny dramedies and I was like, oh, this is actually very interesting.
Yeah, this definitely arose, you could say, erected from a time of people coming in and spreading their own folklore and traditions from times past. Like, when the Irish came over here and they're like, we use this thing called, they use a fucking turnip first for a pumpkin. And then they're like, I need something larger to stick up my ass. Who told me that they want me to sit on a pumpkin for a fucking Halloween? I can't remember who said that. Was it probably
Jesus
Billy?
Fucking Christ!
It's like I want you to sit on a pumpkin and engulf it for a fucking Halloween special.
So, Tom, what happened that people got that's got people talking about the demonic presence in Stull Cemetery?
So we'll get into it, but they say in the basement of the abandoned church in Stull, Kansas, there is a staircase. And if you follow that staircase down, 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 you'll reach the entrance of hell itself. And if you can crawl your way back up that ladder and escape from the bowels of hell to reach the surface, you will have to climb for weeks. That is, if the devil doesn't grab you first.
I don't appreciate all of the slander. I'm not trying to grab you without permission. But if you come to my home,
die, man. That stuff's gonna make me die, man.
If you come into my home, you have given consent.
Yep.
This is the place where the dead speak.
Can't remember where that's from. I'm pretty sure it's from Pet Cemetery.
I think it's Pet Cemetery.
It's appropriate for this episode. Hidden in the rural Kansas, the town founded by Pennsylvania Dutch settlers also heard German. In the research I did,
that's what the majority of Anabaptists are German, and Pennsylvania Dutch. Yep.
Yeah, of course. Dutch are cheap. I'm in what's the fuck I hate intolerance.
Yeah, there are only two things in the world Tom can't stand: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
So the Dutch settlers who headed out west to avoid a religious prosecution in 1867, they built the old stone church in the center of the cemetery and used it to practice their Anabaptist religion until the start of the 20th century, when it was left abandoned after the roof fell in, and we'll get more into the church in a bit. But the church then sat empty, crumbling into ruins as the myths and legends surrounding Stull grew and flourished. And the property's overtop reputation included everything from ghost, demon sightings, sacrificial ceremonies, occult rituals, and the devil himself even pencils in for a fucking visit every year.
Mm-hmm. He gotta visit his kid. Pay that demonic child support once a year.
Yes. Apparently, paranormal occurrences date back to the mid-1800s slangs. And a Kansas City Times article claims that a stable hand took out the mare to death in the cemetery's old barn. Stable hand, I don't know what the fuck that was about. I read over all this stuff. The claims that a stable hand took out the mare to death in the cemetery's old stone barn.
Does that mean that he fucked the mare to death?
He could have.
A dude fucked a horse to death. I've never heard of it I've never heard of it reversed. Like, it's always a dude gets fucked to death by a horse.
Cemeteries are creepy, but they're also not that scary.
I'm not scared by cemeteries at all. I love cemeteries. They're super cool and peaceful and calm. And there's not a whole bunch of people, just being disrespectful assholes. So if you feel like going and just sitting somewhere quiet, it's a good place to go.
I would love to trip up mushrooms in a fuck. I just all I could talk about. I said, Chelsea, you need to shut the fuck up about psychedelics. Everywhere I go, I'm like, have you tried psychedelics, man? I said to my buddy Mike at work, I was like, he's like, I'm scared. I was like, don't be fucking scared.
You're gonna become that person that everyone's like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, man. It's healing my life. But the thing is too, like I've said this before, I think that like I used the ghost detector and Ouija board at a cemetery, and nothing happened. Like nothing. And then when we were like talking and walking around the cemetery, I was like, the dead would normally go to a place where they remember as being comfortable and somewhere they loved and cared about. And, you think about maybe The Conjuring, I think 2, where the guy lives in the house and well, if you know the ending, the ending's the ending. But the thing is like how you think that the old man is trying to drive him out of the house. You know what I mean?
Right. But okay. So here's my thing with cemeteries and why they're probably some of the least haunted places. So what we know from ghosts or what the theories are with ghosts is that, they're generally people who either died violently or unexpectedly or this or that. Yeah. So by that logic, you would think that the majority of spirits that would be occupying a cemetery would just be at rest. They wouldn't be haunting the place.
That's true. Yeah. That's
true. I mean, unless you die and you don't realize you're dead and then you follow the procession, but then you would think that if you are conscious and you see the full funeral procession that you're like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And then
I've heard that too with certain cases of near ghosty experiences or through psychics, which I know some people believe and some people don't.
I'm sure there are some people who have precognitive abilities, but like everything else, the vast majority of people who claim to are fucking charlatans and con people.
No, for sure. I would say like 80-90%.
80-90% are bullshit. Yes, I would agree.
Yes, for sure. You know, and like in 'Tis the Season, right? Go back and listen to some of the episodes even last year that we did or the year before, because every Halloween we do like for at least a month or usually it's 2 months. We dive into everything spooky, spooky and grotesque.
Even.
Yes. So it's quite weird and strange, but a decaying wooden cross that still hangs from one of the walls is thought to sometimes turn upside down when passerbyers step into the building at midnight.
Which is crazy because it's always like this thing of like, oh, a sign of demonic possession is the cross turning upside down. It's like, no, that makes no sense according to, you know, Christian mythology, because it would be arguably one of the most humble things that you could do as a person, because it's I believe it's the cross of St. Peter, because Peter was the one that when they crucified him, he's like, I'm not worthy to be crucified in the same way as my savior, put me upside down. And they did. And that sounds like a way worse
blood rushed to his head and fucking pissed on his own face, and
it's like a way worse death. But I feel like it's probably quicker.
That it's the reptilians, man, because they invert everything. Everything is inverted.
Such a bullshit fucking, like, to me that's like religious people with a vivid or a lack of an imagination, which is just like, no, they only take what we do and flip it. And it's like, all you did was take what people that came before you did and make it your own. Like, stop pretending that you're fucking better than everybody.
That is very true, because you know what, and I'm sure we have religious fans and stuff like that. I have people in my life that are religious, and like, I don't like, do what you want. Religion is something that I'll never subscribe to, because I think it was created by humans. If not, it was created by reptilians to divide and conquer. Because how many fucking religions are there now? It's just like, if you just how about faith in yourself, everybody? Chew some fucking mushrooms and talk to your higher self, and fucking, you know, that's my religion, is fucking the almighty fungus. I start eating fucking mushrooms in my backyard now. I'm just joking. I fucking do eat dandelions though.
This is going to be one of the last episodes of Strange Brew we ever do, because we're going to be holding the memorial service for Tom next week.
Poisonous mushrooms. Unplug your camera and plug it back in. See what happens.
I can't. It's all the way in the back. No, and that's going to fuck it up bad, dude. I'm not doing that. It's fine. Just leave it.
I guess Anton is going to be glitchy Mitch.
No one cares. Nobody tunes in to see my fucking face, okay? So let's go.
It might, though. Supposedly, apparently, as Billy was saying on the one episode, what happens when you build a church on top of Satan's front door, though it should be noticed that Stull never had an official mayor. Still, there are rumors that don't come out of thin air. There's mostly tied to a large tree on the property. The mysterious church's property, which some people say they have seen smoldering. And hell isn't short of fire, but
so you know the Greg and what the fuck is her name? The two people that investigated Hellier and did that whole documentary.
Yeah, I still have to watch that.
Okay, so they went on a tour of Stull Cemetery when it was on fire, when small fires just started popping up everywhere around there.
Why?
I don't know.
Fracking?
I would guess it's probably either fracking or it's like there's places in Pennsylvania that have coal fires that are still burning underground, and it quite literally causes sinkholes and like molten pits. So it's entirely possible that it's something like that as well. It's a mine that's caught fire and it's just burning in the wrong areas.
That'd be fucking scary to see that walking by and be like, what the?
Yeah.
Especially like late at night, you're just out with your fucking friends and you're a teenager smoking a joint. Like, what the fuck? You'd freak out, and then your mind would wander.
Well, all that shit's going to smell like sulfur. It's going to burn really bad. It's going to make you feel weird because there's probably a lot of gases that are seeping out and going around and stuff. And it's like, it's entirely possible that the fires were started by small pockets of natural gas that were coming up and getting ignited by small brush fires, or maybe it was a really hot summer or anything along those lines.
It's true. It's true. You know what? You got to be pretty fucking rich to like get some of these gravestones that have like the enormous, like the Mary Magdalene or like the fucking angel weeping. Like, you must have to have some money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same way the Egyptians did. It's like, bear me with all my shit, even though I'm not taking it with me. I just don't want my son to have it. It's just like, it is just, it's just like, I don't get the fuck. Okay, you understand probably more, but like I think it's obviously more of a religious thing. But like when I die,
in Egyptian terms, yes,
I don't know. But even the great gravestones, like how they're like illustrious gravestones. It's like when I die, just fucking throw me somewhere and throw me in a dumpster. I don't give a fuck.
No, I agree. Once I'm done with this husk, fucking do whatever the hell you want to. But I don't
Please
give a shit.
Do Weekend at Bernie's with my body. That'd be fucking like. When I'm podcasting something, that'd be fucking really funny. Somebody do that. You actually do a good with
doing a Bernie dance thing.
Just like I have to rewatch that movie, but it's just like, I don't really get. Once I'm dead, my fucking soul's gone. I'll be laughing, man. Make some jokes. I'll be fucking in a better place than this stupid earth.
Or you'll be in a worse place, or you will just have reincarnated back into samsara, and you're back where you started.
It's true. I'm back in this. I birth into my great grandson or some shit. I'm like, God damn it. Well, I'm still in this fucking family.
Had to have a family line to keep reincarnating. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, man. That's why they want everyone to be gay, because then no one will reincarnate anymore, and they'll have to stay in the astral world and get raped by reptilians. So, according to legend, the massive pine tree was used to exterminate condemned witches. Exterminate. What's that from?
Doctor Who.
Oh, I don't fuck. Oh yeah, the stupid robots. Even though I've never watched that show.
I have a shirt with a Dalek on it. You watch your fucking mouth.
Every time I went to Comic-Con, I'd see those things, and Chelsea was like, "What the fuck are those?"
Yeah, Dalek cosplays are sweet, dude.
We were talking about when I used to do like cocaine, and I used to like we went to the first expo. We had to we went halfway. Like I snorted a bunch of coke, and then we went to the Comic-Con, and I left and did it more in the hotel. And looking back, I was like, why? Why did I need this shit to enjoy?
Why were you on coke at a fucking convention?
I know. I was like, whoa, fucking so. And
it's one thing if you're at a convention and you're at an after party and you're getting hammered and it's 4 a.m. and you're like, dude, I gotta sober up a little bit, and then you do a blast. That's one thing. But just sitting there, just whacking rails to go fucking walk around and look at cosplayers. Everybody else is just like, oh, this is really cool, and you're walking around just like, like.
I don't know why I did that. And I'll get into some of my personal life, but and then we also stole shit. There was a huge line. I got a Jesse Pinkman figure and a Walter White figure, and the line was too long, and I just walked out with it. Nobody said shit. I just put it in my bag that I had already. And then I'm not condoning stealing. All right. It was just something I did when I was on cocaine 7 years ago.
Normally people on Xanax are the ones that steal, but Tom,
I thought, how would you steal on Xanax? You're sleepy.
It's a stereotype, dude. You're not sleepy. You're walking through life just fucking like.
You know what? People learn a lot about me when they listen to the show. Just but I got these figures for free, and I don't know. I didn't have any karma so far. So supposedly, right? They exterminated the witches.
There was only one account of a witch being killed, and even that is just hearsay. There's no actual record.
Well, they're saying
of them
they killed witches, and including Satan's fucking lover.
The tree had the word witch carved into it, and the story of Satan's lover, which we're getting into right now.
Yes. But this happened on the spring equinox, and the tree remained a special spot for, modern covens, which would visit the cemetery to pay respect to their fallen until the tree was torn out by caretakers in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find a picture of the tree. There's not that many. There's photographs of the cemetery, but it's a pretty barren cemetery. The graves are very spread out. It's a pretty large property from what I saw, but it probably wasn't too huge. It's always weird when you find those there's towns around here where it's a little small town and you have this tiny little graveyard. And now because of everything being residential, you have it right next to, you have it right next to people's homes now in a lot of cases too, which is fairly crude because they don't want to desecrate the grave. So they have to leave it. So you build a house next door and then you got a graveyard in the backyard, which I think would be pretty hardcore.
Yep. There are a ton of homes that have graveyards either next to them or in the backyard as well.
It would be fairly creepy. Isn't that in Pet Cemetery? Isn't it right in their backyard? Right? It's pretty.
No,
much...
it's up the hill. Or the Pet Cemetery is in their backyard. Yes, but the rest of it is
Okay, what is that? Not Pet Cemetery where they look out the window and they can see the graveyard? It's right across the street.
Poltergeist.
Oh, it is Poltergeist. Oh yeah. Crackheads steal, as Dutch said. Fucking Dutch.
Yes, crackheads do steal. Crackheads rob. We're not talking about. And Tom, I don't condone your version of stealing because you stole from an independent citizen, which I did.
The line
greatly,
was so long, man.
I don't give a fuck. I condemn it. I don't endorse it. However, if you would have stolen those figures from a Walmart, I would be applauding you right now because fuck big corporations and rip them off every chance you get, people.
I steal moo-moos from Walmart and then I sell it back to fucking fat Karen ladies with bad haircuts.
Anyway, so there was this woman who got impregnated by the devil, and
Yeah,
Tom?
so why would the devil choose a small cemetery in Kansas? The answer to that question, depending on the answer differs depending on who you ask. I'm sure that tons of people have. I always like in cases like this and stories like this, it does always remind me of like that guy from Friday the 13th. I was like, don't go to Camp Blood. Some say the church was used by Satanists, witches, to worship Satan and summon him to the cemetery. And I'm sure, like, it always reminds me of Spawn. Remember when they like?
Why does God get all the get all the good ones and we get all the rejects?
Yeah, and it's just like the guy when they're trying to do like Satan, and then they're like, "Hey, man, you okay?" And it's just like, he just actually crawled from a fucking grave.
Yep.
Like it's so that movie is horrible, but it was part of my childhood, and I love it.
Spawn, thank you very much. It's not even close to the comics, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Others claim that the origin of Stull's supernatural reputation goes much further back and can be traced to one particular grave and one particular tree. So, according to the legend, there was one grave that sat with the epitaph witch, but it was spelt Wittich.
I think it was maybe just the last name.
For fucking sure it was. It must have been, because we're looking at the gravestone right now, and it says witch, but it's Anna A. Andrews, son John, and Sarah, daughter. That's fucking creepy. That is like, so okay, the mom, oh shit, I just realized the mom died, and then the kids died before she died.
No, because she died after the kids died.
After the kids
died first.
The kids. So check this out. So for audio listeners, it says witch on the grave, Wittich, which especially back in the 1800s, if you had that name, it would probably suck. But the thing is, back then, your last names were based on usually your trade and stuff like that. So what the fuck was this about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's not a witch. That's Wittich. Like it's the last name.
Quidditch?
Wittich.
Oh, what's that mean? Oh, that's how you would pronounce the name.
Oh, I would pronounce the name, yeah. Wittich.
So, and for all the listeners, you can look this up. It says Anna A. Andrews, and she lived from 1832 to 1910, but her son died in 1869, and her daughter died in 1870, a year after the son died, which would have been, she lived, 20 years, no, 30 years longer. 40 years longer than her kids. 70, 80, 90.
41 years longer than her son.
Yeah, I'm like, man, doing math on mushrooms is not fun. But that's fucking crazy. So, like, that would have been a horrible time to live. But the thing is, and so did they bury them all together? Did they dig up the grave and then throw the mother inside with the kids?
They might be buried side by side.
It's fucking creepy when it's just like, fucking put me in the same grave. Fucking spooky shit. But according to the lore, when in this grave, right, it sat there, and there's a tall pine tree which grew in the cemetery grounds, was said to be used for hangings, specifically the hangings of witches. But we don't know that.
I wonder if that was just them trying to get in on the whole, like, no, we hang witches too. You know, hysteria that was in Salem and many places in the Northeast, because Kansas is not the North. It's almost the South.
I would say that, and I'm Canadian.
Yeah. I've been to Kansas. I haven't been to Lawrence, which is apparently the really cool place to go. That's where the author William S. Burroughs is from.
Nirvana played there one time.
I did, and Supernatural, it's where Sam and Dean are from, is Lawrence, Kansas.
Really?
Yep.
Never watched that show.
Really?
Never. And I should have, because I probably would have enjoyed it.
I loved Supernatural. It was great. I
think I saw
didn't love how many seasons there were. I didn't love many of the later seasons. They did too many. There's like 13, 14 seasons.
It got dry.
So season one, totally unrelated and side tangent. Seasons 1 through 6 are a contained storyline, and they're perfect.
Yeah.
They're absolutely perfect. Seasons 7 and 8 are good in their own regard. Season 9 is dog shit. Season 10 is okay again. Season 11 is okay again. Season 12 is meh. And season 13 is like, They have a Scooby-Doo crossover episode.
I feel like 13. I had a buddy that was watching it when I used to be a chef, and he's like, you gotta get it. He's like, I'm watching Supernatural all over again. And he was younger than me. And I was like, yeah, I think I watched like a couple episodes, and I was trying to get into it, but I had so much shit going on, like doing coke, fucking bitches and prostitutes and, beating up women on the side of the streets, stuff like that. Okay, that's a fabrication.
This show is going to be used at your trial someday.
That's a fabrication. I'm lying. But I don't know why I never got into it. It's the same with like the X-Files. I've watched a lot of episodes, but never fully through entirely. I've never watched the entire seasons. I know Anton's going to leave. Because I've seen like the movies and stuff like that. I haven't watched it in its entirety.
Watch the shittiest parts of the fucking series.
I know, it was horrible. The movies were fucking bad. But I haven't watched it in its entirety, and I think because I've been with Chelsea for so long, she's always like, "Do we always have to watch horror movies?" Like it's like I'm like every day. Like last night, to get in preparation for our episode that will soon. I guess maybe the time this comes out might be out with Aaron. The vampire episode is that I've been trying to watch a bunch of vampire movies. Like I'm on to Bram Stoker's Dracula, Interview with the Vampire, the gayest vampire movie out there, but it's
no, Gay Dracula is the gayest vampire
is that
movie
actually
out there.
A movie? Is that a porno?
Yeah, it's a gay porn, yeah.
It's a gay porn?
It's a gay porn. So Newt, formerly of Hack the Movies, currently of Schlock and Awe Pictures, tells a really good story about when he went to California for a film. And they were talking about this one person was like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And he's like, "I want to go see a movie at the Chinese Theater." And it was like a double feature of some art house films. And one of them was entitled Gay Dracula. And it's just a hardcore gay porn that has a plot about a vampire.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
and it played there?
The way he described it is amazing. So if you get a chance, go look at that up and listen to him talk about Gay Dracula.
Oh, I thought you said I tell everyone to go watch this porno. Watch it right now while you listen to us.
It's very hard to find. So
okay, so fucking of course the eerie name on the tombstone wasn't enough. It was said that the bones contained in the grave were that of Satan's own child. Conceived with a mortal witch, the child was born with horrible deformities and covered in thick wolf-like hair. According to it, it's like a werewolf child boy.
It's that a person that has that disorder where they just grow hair everywhere. The werewolf
like
disorder.
That guy from the freak shows, like the circus sideshows.
Yes, exactly.
What was he called? The wolf.
The
boy?
dog boy.
Dog
or
boy,
wolf boy. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Satan's kid only lived for a couple days. That happens.
Satan's got bad genes. What can I say?
I know. She fucking aborted him too late. Stuck a coat hanger through his eye and be like, fuck, I was supposed to do this when you were inside me?
It was a 12th trimester abortion.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the Republicans are like,
this is the future that liberals want. They want Satan's babies to be able to be aborted. It's like, shouldn't you you know what? I never thought that I would live to see a time in my life where I have said the phrase, may the fetus you save grow up gay. And now I've changed it to, may the fetus you save grow up trans.
Yeah.
And I want to see it blow up in your fucking face, you bigoted pieces of shit.
Yeah, and our whole thing is everybody love everybody. I know people that listen to this podcast have different points of view than both me and Anton, but the fun of this
I'm your resident liberal faggot, so it's fine.
Exactly. The point of this show is to have different opinions. Just so people that maybe are longtime listeners and be like, what's all this trans stuff about? Whatever. We've talked about maybe covering it one day. We'll see what happens.
I love all our trans listeners, of which there are zero, unfortunately.
Yeah, there probably
I'm working on it. I'm trying to.
We're trying to get there, but I just want to express to the fans that we're here to have objective opinions, and me and Anton have different opinions on a bunch of stuff. Same with me and Billy, and that's the point and fun of the show. I feel like people forget that too. It's just like the whole point is for people to come together that may have different opinions.
Well, also our opinions are just that. They are our opinions. No one's sitting here walking around saying that what we're saying is gospel or it's truth or it's the only way that there is. We're simply
100%.
just people expressing our opinions on things. So
yeah, and that's exactly it. So I want all the fans to know that, right? Like everybody love everybody,
Yeah.
you know. Like and just quickly say that someone was like they're commenting on it was a Rebel News article. I like Rebel News, but someone is like essentially saying, and I was like, everybody love everybody. I was like, let people love who they want to love in the comments. And someone's like, you must love children then. And I was like,
dude.
not all gay people are pedophiles, you fucking psychopath.
The vast majority are not.
I was like, and I said you intolerant fuck.
Clergymen.
Yeah, I was like, you intolerant fuck. Like, it's just like, this is the issues that I have with all this stuff too. And I have different opinions than Anton has. I just want to express this on this podcast because it kind of got into it. Just say, hey, like, everybody love everybody. Let people love who they want to love. Obviously, not children. That's a fucking, that's obvious.
That's a gimme, though. That goes without saying. If you, like, we're at Strange Brew. We don't care what you do or where you stick whatever, as long as it is between consenting adults.
Yeah.
Adults.
Yeah. Chelsea hates the way I say adults. I was like, adults. And she's like, I hate the way you fucking say. No, I say adults where I'm like, people are just fucking stupid adults. And she's like, why do you say it like that? I was like, I got to make it clear that I'm an adult.
Adult.
I'm still a child at heart though. So I just want to make that fucking little rant for everybody. Everybody love everybody. That's our whole fucking motto. So unfortunately, Satan's kid, right, only lived for a couple days, and he reportedly had a final resting place with his dear mama. And there have been reports of hairy, werewolf-looking ass motherfucker walking around. Supposedly this fucking hairy ass werewolf-looking douche walks around.
That's Krampus devil.
It's still a devil.
It is a devil.
Oh, it is a Krampus devil. He's got
It's a Krampus devil. It's got the reeds. Yeah, that's Krampus. That's not a devil.
Also,
I don't know why Krampus is dancing around a giant bonfire in what appears to be summer. But
that's true. Guess what's coming in December?
We're gonna Krampus episode, another one.
We're gonna redo Krampus. I'm super.
Yeah. You are gonna. So then, if we're gonna do that, then you and I are either you or I or me and somebody else for House of Trash are going to cover the William Shatner film.
Oh yeah,
A Christmas Horror Story.
We watched that. I watched that last year, and I was like talking to you about it.
I know we were chatting about it. It's so much fun. I think that one, me and you will do.
Film. Yeah, it's a fucking fun film. There's a lot of stuff coming, so beware. So, and obviously,
very aware.
People are saying they see this hairy wolf boy. All of this is a major headache to police. They have
the cops in this town seem like they. And you know what? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Fuck 12, but
is it 12 precincts?
Fuck 12. Oh, Tim Curry and Legend, yes.
Is that any good?
Yes, it's great. It's one of the best fantasy films ever made.
I saw a post about it and I was like, I've never even seen that. Isn't Tom Cruise in it?
Yes, it is. Tom Cruise is the quote unquote hero in it.
I just hate Tom Cruise.
Wait, go back to that.
He's looking at his phone.
That's not Tim Curry. That's from Montero. That's from the Lil Nas video. You know how I know? Because there's a fucking smartphone in his hand. But that is a ripoff of Tim Curry and Legend, which for our viewers.
Yeah. What do you think of Lil Nas X?
I like him.
Do you think he's a worshiper of Satan?
I hope so. No, I think he is a smart entertainer and recognizes controversy sells fucking units.
That's true. He's a gay cowboy.
Say Satan. Excuse me. Satan. Listen, you had me at gay and Satan, okay? So
if a guy dressed up in a like butch ass Satan costume, would you let him fuck you?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
It's like, and you dress up like an angel.
Satan better be laying the pipe. That's all I'm saying. It better not be bad dick, because if it is, I'm going to be very disappointed.
It's kind of a half furry fetish because he's got the hairy ass fucking goat legs.
Only if you go with the satyr or the Baphomet.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess that's true.
I think if I'm getting fucked by Baphomet, it better be a fucking top surgery having trans person.
I'm still debating, and right, everybody tune into the Halloween special. It will be coming out the weekend of Halloween. I think it's the Halloween's on a Sunday, so it'll definitely be something like a Friday, maybe. I'm still debating on what I want to dress up like and what, because I think me and Billy will maybe do a pair, but I'm deciding if maybe we won't. Maybe we're gonna do maybe Jay and Silent Bob or playing with it. But now I'm like, I want to fucking maybe make Billy dress up like a fucking fairy or something. Like I want to do something fun and ridiculous. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when it comes to the Halloween special. I'm still debating it. Anton, you also need to get a costume, and we got the live special eventually. I'm gonna plan a date for that very soon.
I'm gonna show you and the listeners right now what my costume plan is. If I can find a one of him in the suit. So that's do you know what Lounge Satan is? Do you know who Coop is? The artist Coop?
No.
So he drew all of the ultra horny devil girls and the smoking Satan. So like here.
Like this guy in the background of the fucking stream? He's smoking, you just can't see him. Look.
Here you go.
Oh. Okay. Fuckface. Oh yeah.
A Lounge Satan, and then of course all the sexy devil girls that are just like ultra pornographic.
It's like the oh yeah, okay. I like it.
So this is what I'm doing is I'm doing Lounge Satan. So I'm gonna grow the goatee back, and I'm going to paint myself completely red. I'm gonna have long black fingernails, and I'm debating on doing a gender bend with it or not. So I'm gonna have the goatee, and I might have tits as well. I'm not sure.
That's what you're gonna do for the Halloween special?
That's what I'm gonna do for Halloween.
Oh,
for the Halloween special, I'm not sure yet, but I could do that.
If you go all out, man, I want to go all out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look around, see what I want to do first, because there will come a time like I might cut some of this in the audio, but for the YouTube listeners and stuff like that and Twitch, like just remember, like the Halloween special is gonna be fucking pretty crazy. I'm super excited for it, and all three of us are going to be on. We're all going to be dressed up, and then there is talks for a live show maybe a week or two before Halloween. Maybe we'll do it on like a Thursday or Friday. We'll debate on what we're going to do, because I think it might be me, Anton, and Aaron. It might be all four of us. Who fucking knows? Or you might just get me and fucking Anton in your ear holes and your faces. Your faces. All right, so obviously, they got so it's a big headache for the police, as we said. All of this was a major headache to the police. Satan, the ghost boy, and most people who showed up and trashed the place. Like a lot of people
we're here to enjoy the country air, not trash the place.
So there you go. There's a picture, I think, of the witch grave for all
the. I always thought that the tree into the left was the hanging tree.
That's probably what it is.
But that might be because The Conjuring makes me think of like people hanging from there, or Sinister. Sinister makes me think of that. So the fun thing about the roof, because I know we've been doing this for like an hour and we've barely gotten into the descriptions of the stuff.
The roof caved in.
The roof is on caving. So apparently one of the legends of this place is that even when it rains, no water accumulates inside the church.
That's fucking weird. I was going to get to that.
Be because it is in fact so close to hell that all water, all moisture, all condensation evaporates as soon as it hits the ground.
And I think and I'll say this to my belief: hell does not exist. So that's my theory. It's not really mentioned in the Bible till later on. It's not in text. It's
Don't you remember that question that the Meat Brothers and Kurt Cobain asked us?
What?
Where do bad folks go when they die?
I love that song, actually. So the legend of Stull has influenced pop culture in many different ways, and those same stories have influenced both in all different ways. It's kind of like this legend kind of has grown throughout pop culture and throughout stuff. Like the show Supernatural, as we mentioned, is awash with barren country roads, dilapidated farmhouses, abandoned asylums, left for hauntings, rusty iron gates swinging at the entrance of a fog-lit graveyards. Whether told by multi-million-dollar CGI or the classic tradition of oral campfire tales, the urban legend must offer us, obviously, a little nugget of truth. Enough evidence, enough setting to lean into just maybe something spooky, right? That's where all legends start. It has some grain of truth, and then it kind of gets fantasized. You know what I mean? In
this instance, there was probably a summer or two or a year or two where there was a whole bunch of bad shit that happened. I'm sure there was a woman that not very many people liked. Maybe she had an affair. She gave birth to a baby that was kind of maybe deformed. Maybe. And they didn't realize anything about it. We're just like, oh, that's a demon because it looks this way or it looks that way. And then, it died and they buried it under a tree and then they hanged her as a witch because they were ignorant and dumb.
Well,
scared.
It's the same tales of in good old Ireland, in how the deformed babies, right? They'd be taken away by fairies, and they replace them with the changelings.
Fairies!
It's fucked. Such is the hanging tree, obviously, one of the many demonic chapters of Stull's story surrounding a tree located in the cemetery that it was rumored to have been in hanging tree. Part of the story is true. There was, in fact, a tree in Stull Cemetery. Well, no shit. Lisa Hefner Heinz included details about this historic tree in her chapter titled The Demonic Church for her book Haunted Kansas, Ghost Stories and Other Eerie Tales.
Mm-hmm.
But the tree was never evil. It was just unique. And Lisa noted that the natural growth of the tree had in fact cut a tombstone in half, split it through the stone by, supposedly it split a stone by the ghost of dead witches. That's what they're saying, is that the witches that were hung by this tree and their demonic forces split this tombstone, influenced the tree. As the tree had grown and the brass of the trunk had spread, the tombstone had been split in two, leaving half of a marker on each side of the tree, she explains in her book. Curiously, where's my cringe button? That was super
cringy ass bitch.
Curiously, the stone marked the final resting place of two individuals, Betty and Frankie Thomas, both of whom died in 1879. So it wasn't really it's just some people that died and they fucking sadly got their grave. You know, when people are douchebags that kick over gravestones and
yeah, it's such a fucking shithead teenager. No, same. It's just incredibly disrespectful. I feel like it just shows that somebody didn't raise you properly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I showed respect even when we go with the Ouija board or whatever. Like, I showed respect. I didn't try to walk on the grave, like where they were buried underneath. But at the same time, now that I think in retrospect, you are just a pile of fucking just body fat.
But still, I totally recognize, like, because I do the same thing when I'm in a cemetery. It's like if I can kind of guess where they are, I walk around it, just simply because it's like I don't know. I'm not really a superstitious person. I'm kind of a skeptic with a lot of things, but to me, it's a respect thing.
If I pissed on a grave, I get struck by lightning.
That's my mother you're pissing on.
Stull's churchyard had been thought to have been a portal to hell, but a University of Kansas student newspaper article, a student that wrote a newspaper article, was one of the first times the rumor was actually committed to print. In November 1974, an article claimed that the church's grounds saw a number of strange and paranormal happenings, and it was supposed to be haunted by supernatural beings. The paper asserted that the devil appeared 2 times a year in Stull Cemetery, apparently crawling out of the depths of hell, just too long of a trip to pop in more than a couple times a year. So it's a very long time to come from hell.
Dude, you know, I think that's the story that he maybe tells her.
Yeah.
But we all know the devil pulls mad tail. Both male and female and in between. And that's a lot of cemeteries to visit. Yeah. Because it's not like, oh, they're dead, it's over. They're dead. I gotta see them at least once a year, or I'm never gonna hear the end of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, that like Satan doesn't care what you identify as. He just wants his dick sucked.
You know what that shows me, though? That shows me the compassion and the love in Satan's heart. That he'll take the time to come visit your grave, even after you've died. You've died. You've been dead for 100, 200 years, and Satan's still going to come see you at least once. He didn't forget about you. Satan loves you.
Yep, and as Anton LaVey would say, right,
Satan is the church's best friend and has kept them in business all these years.
Yep, keeps you in fucking fear. 4 years later, on March 20th, 1978, over 150 people gathered at the cemetery waiting for the devil to show up. They believed that people who had passed would rise from the grave, which is like a zombie type thing too.
Well, the devil's supposed to show up at the stroke of midnight on the winter solstice or the spring equinox.
Can we try that sometime? Could we do like a live special with Summon Satan?
When we were doing research for this, I was actually thinking about doing that as one of the things. But apparently, number A, it's really hard to get permission from the town to do it, and number B, if you get caught trespassing, they're real dicks about it because.
I'm not saying in the Stull Cemetery. I'm saying like anywhere. Like,
yeah. I'm done.
and I don't like, and the thing is, like, part of me is like, and I don't necessarily believe in Satan. And if I do, Lucifer was the bearer of light according to the Bible, right? Which means in the version that if the Bible, if you want to take that as facts, right? I say the Bible is facts. Satan is most likely the good guy because he helped Adam and Eve escape from the confines that God put them in, of like, tend to my garden and all this bullshit. And they ate from the tree of knowledge. It's like, if you dissect the story, Satan is essentially the good guy.
Well, Satan was the liberator. I don't know that I would confine it to good or evil. I would say it is beyond good and evil. It's slavery versus obedience.
Jesus was a pedophile, man.
Look, I have nothing against the Prince of Peace, if you will. I definitely don't subscribe to the Crowley of just blasphemy for actually, yeah, I do. I love being blasphemous. I can't even fucking pretend. But I have no problem with like the teachings of certain aspects of the teachings of Jesus. I have a problem with the fucking fan base.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's what I've always said, right? The teachings of religion to stay in that moral compass is good, but there's bad things about it, right? There's bad things about every cult, religion, organization, everything. There's always bad apples, and there's always people who like to benefit off of it. And it goes within every community, white, black, fucking Hispanic, whatever. Like, anything that tries to push in any organization is not fucking gonna be good. Not gonna lie. Once you get enough people together. So in 1988, almost 500 people gathered at the cemetery waiting for another no-show devil. Once again, 500 people, almost 500 people were like, "Where's Satan?"
Satan shy.
Yeah, he's dick shy. It's like, I can't show my penis. It hangs to the floor. Everyone will laugh at it. You got those guys. It's like, either you have a really big dick and you show it off, or you're embarrassed because it's like too big. Like, I don't know what to do with this thing, man. I have to tuck it in my sock when I walk around.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh. I feel like I still have that somewhere. Maybe I do. I don't know.
Laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you. Fuck. I gotta figure out how to fucking conduct my my stupid fucking sound effects better. So flip through real quick to get the perfect moment. So it's crazy. So obviously they caused so much damage to the property that the officers had to patrol the grounds on every Halloween since. And if you're hoping to catch a glimpse on All Hallows Eve, prepare to get slapped with $1,000 fine and 6 months in the Bing.
And
yeah, you'll
supposedly looking around.
No, you'll get a $1,000 fine, and if you're causing a ruckus, well, you will.
What
get
do we know
6 months in
about?
Jail.
What did we just talk about earlier with baby Satanists, if you will? You know, high school Satanists, middle school dickheads. What do they love doing? Vandalism and graffiti.
Yeah, you know.
What are they not particularly good at doing? Graffiti.
Yeah,
it's all just
vouch for that.
It's all just Hail Satan, but it's spelled like Satin because they're an asshole.
True. And we got dollar store spray paint and spray painted this old factory we used to break into, and we wrote like Sex Pistols and put like the anarchy symbol, and we're like 12 and like hardcore, man, rancid, and write stupid shit like that.
Yeah, pentagrams, fucking upside down crosses, yeah, all of it. At least I knew how to spell Satan, though.
You know, and my buddy would draw swastika, and then I'd draw it into a
window, and like, stop being a head,
dude. And I was like, Sex Pistols are fucking rock and roll, but they're also fucking. Sid Vicious was obviously a hateful fucking neo-Nazi.
Sid Vicious wasn't anything. Sid Vicious was a heroin addicted teenager. What are you talking about?
He has I don't think he knew what the fuck.
No idea what he was doing. That dude is like literally was a child in a fucking teenager's body.
It's true. It's true. And as he grew up, and you know, and when you're addicted to drugs, you don't know, and like especially like heroin, you don't know what the fuck is going on. All you're focused on is your next fix, and be like, if I just act silly on stage and cut my fucking chest, man, I'll get money for this, and then I'll fucking get my heroin fix.
It's not even that. Like Sid Vicious was a mentally ill, drug-addicted teenager in a toxic codependent relationship that ended in a murder-suicide.
I hate the bitch that played fucking Nancy in that movie. Sid! Oh my god, drove me nuts.
One more example of why Romeo and Juliet is not a fucking love story. It's a tragedy.
It's a toxic relationship, remember, people.
Tragedy. It's a story about two dumbass teenagers who thought that they were in love with each other and got a whole bunch of people killed, including themselves in the process.
True. The church was rumored to be so evil, for many reasons, which is why people think it was destroyed. However, no one actually knows who bulldozed the building, according to what I researched.
Yeah, no, that's what everyone says. I bet you it was just a bunch of townsfolk, maybe even the cops, who one night were like, nope, I'm fucking done with this shit.
Yeah, because the church was already falling down. It's lost its roof, has been through a fire. Lightning struck the abandoned building. It does seem like you could easily build some sort of urban legend around this church because of all the things that happened, which cracked the old stone wall. It was also badly fucking damaged by vandalism, and townspeople even removed a collapsed wall, fearing the falling debris would hurt visitors.
Right, which is most likely what would happen. You just get somebody from out of
town. Fall on that shitty kid, man.
Yeah, well, no, not even that. Like, imagine if somebody, you get like a paranormal investigator or something comes in from out of town, and they're like, well, I couldn't get permission, so I'm just going to go in. And technically, they're trespassing. But what do we know about the legal system in America? That don't mean shit. You can still sue.
Yeah. And then the wall falls on them, and now they're a ghost, and they're trying to find other ghosts while they're in the astral realm. They think they're still alive and be like, man, there's like so many ghosts around me. Where's my friend Bobby? And it's like, Bobby's been long gone. He's back in fucking Arkansas.
I like your way better. It's way more supernatural and fun. Mine was just like, yo, someone's going to get killed and they're going to get sued.
According to an alleged Lawrence Journal World article, the old stone church was mysteriously torn down on Friday, March 29th, 2002. But no one had ordered its removal, just like the Georgia Guidestones. We got to talk about that one day. That's got to be a Patreon episode.
Yeah, we can totally talk about that one day.
Property owner Major Weiss. Wow, Major Weiss. And members of Harvest Hills LLC were not aware of this demolition. Some suspect that the angry townspeople, like you said, finally had enough, whether it was truly evil or they couldn't tolerate all the bullshit caused by the rumors. Because it's like, God damn it, there's so many fucking stupid kids with eyeliner and tight jeans coming in this goddamn cemetery every fucking Halloween.
If I see one more Cradle of Filth shirt, I swear to fucking God, I'm going to lose it.
Susie, let's go to the cemetery tonight, Susie. Come on. I'll get you scared. It reminds me of those horror movies, you know what I mean? When they convince the girl to like, come on, it'll be fun. Yeah. And then there's a fucking maniac there, some serial killer that's just like murders their ass.
Maybe there's a whole coalition of parents that like a bunch of the kids went there the one year and they were all really dumb and superstitious and they all got really scared. And the parents were like, they've been having nightmares for a month. I haven't slept. I'm done. I'm fucking done. We're tearing that place down.
We're tearing it down. And then they went to the local pedophile's house.
They Freddy Krueger did? Yeah, that's where my brain went to.
Not every ghost story about Stull Cemetery is from an unnamed source. In fact, one of the world's biggest pop stars has seen the region's demons at first hand. Ariana Grande, I fucking hate this bitch's name.
Ariana Grande.
It's a stupid name. That's definitely a stage name. Is that actually her real name?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Grande sounds like I'm going to Starbucks to order a fucking coffee.
Your mind goes to Starbucks. I go to Taco Bell.
Yes. So she would wind up visiting the cemetery during a scheduled performance in Kansas City and spoke about how complex and weird and bizarre and strange these things happen. All right, I don't know how she talks, but let's do it. I left this sick, overwhelming feeling of negativity over the whole car. We could smell sulfur, which I'm going to redo this here. I felt this. I couldn't do a great female voice, but I felt this sick, overwhelming feeling of negativity over the whole car. You know what I mean? And we smelled sulfur, which is a sign of a demon. And there was Matt Damon. There was a fly in the car randomly, which was another sign of a demon. This bitch sounds stupid. Okay, and I was
knowledge is literally just comes from watching like Amityville and The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's The Exorcist, where he's taking a shit and there's all the flies over his face.
Amityville.
No, that's from fucking.
That's a scary movie too, but that's referencing Amityville horror.
I mean, bless this fucking demon. I was like, this is scary. Let's leave. She didn't say A, but I rolled down the window before we left and said, we apologize. We didn't mean to disturb your peace. Then why is she going Southern, man? She's fucking Southern always goes.
Yeah, she's definitely not Southern.
This is a scary. Let's leave it alone. I rolled down the window before we left and said, we apologize. She's screaming out the window. I'm sorry, okay? We didn't mean to disrupt your peace. Then I took a picture, and there was 3 super distinct faces in the picture. They were faces of textbook demons. Yep, oh, yes.
And then when asked to produce those pictures, she said, my phone deleted them because they were 666 megabytes. I had an entire folder that was labeled demons.
That's literally what she said. This file can't be sent. It is 666 megabytes. She had the image in a folder, but claimed weird and terrifying things kept happening to her. The weird things she describes as frankly pretty terrifying. I was going to sleep for about 2 weeks ago, and I had just gotten off the phone, and as soon as I closed my eyes, I heard this really loud rumble right by my head. When I opened my eyes, it stopped immediately, and when I closed my eyes, it started again, and with whispers. Every time I closed my eyes, I started seeing these really disturbing images with like red shapes. Then I opened my eyes, and I got back on the phone, was like, I'm really scared, and I don't want to be in bed tonight all alone. And then I scooted over to the left of my bed because that's where the best service in my room was. And there was a massive black matter there. I don't know what it was. It was like a cloud, something black next to me. That's definitely how she talks. I got her voice perfectly. You know, bitch.
God, I remember coming down from my first candy flip, too.
What's candy flip?
It's when you take acid and ecstasy at the same time.
I also found a site that has acid. I'll try it. We gotta say that. Can I not say it? I got like it's psychedelics is like the big thing now. Can I not say it anymore? Can you say that you're going to get something, or is it gonna fucking? Am I gonna get flagged by the fucking?
It's not advisable to say it on fucking camera.
Maybe not.
Jesus Christ!
I'm also doing heroin this weekend and mescaline. Ariana Grande says she cried and watched it move in front of her bed before falling asleep on the phone. The next night, her friend Tyler spent the night and witnessed the same thing.
Tyler is a girl, just for reference. She wasn't just getting some random dick.
Yeah, it was Tyler Perry. Well, he was dressed up like fucking what's his character? That stupid fucking Medea. Oh man, Medea.
Whatever.
I'm not a fan of Tyler Perry.
No, I fucking hate everything that he's ever done.
I don't like Tyler Perry, but because he got humiliated, because in Hollywood they make black men wear dresses to humiliate them, according to Dave Chappelle.
Shut up! I know that's a Dave Chappelle bit, but shut up.
So this is crazy. Even fucking I was gonna fucking show. Here's this bitch singing. Forgot to show that. There she is. I'd fuck her.
Ariana, that's a particularly demonic looking picture. I like it. It's appropriate.
I'd fuck her. And the weird thing is, even Kurt Cobain took a trip there when Nirvana played in Lawrence.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Isn't that weird? So I wonder what he's doing there. Maybe he got possessed by a demon. Yeah, he's like doing heroin by the gravestone.
He was doing heroin there. I would be willing to venture.
Thinking about suicide. Or maybe how he's going to get killed by his wife. So he was just heading out in a gravestone. Like, you know what? One day I'll join all you guys in this weird afterlife. And I'll call home one day once Courtney fucking gets someone to murder me. Which eventually I'd love to cover. I have a cousin that like literally adores fucking Nirvana. And he's producing music and he loves grunge. And he's like, he does music that sounds a lot like Nirvana. And, you know, he used to be in a band, but now he's trying to do some solo shit, put on Spotify, shout out Dane. He was actually on the second episode ever of this podcast. It's been since way gone. We first kind of dove our toes into cannibalism. Do you remember that episode?
Yes.
So Dane is super chill, but he loves smoking cigarettes, and I was like, want to go like an hour? And we did like maybe 40 minutes. He's like, I need a cigarette.
I used to love smoking cigarettes. I was that person too. I'm not even gonna front. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go for a smoke, and they're like, it's been 20 minutes. Like, and
I need one.
I can't smoke in here, so
even Guns N' Roses / has a horror film production company, Slasher Films, and produced the Stull-centric Nothing Left to Fear. Would you fuck him?
You know, normally I would say, nah, I'm not interested, but I'm sitting there looking at that at the abs, and I'm
It's like how I cut out the pictures for this episode.
Kind of want to drag my tongue across it. Is all I'm saying.
He's a weird looking guy.
He is a weird looking dude, but I mean,
he's not as weird looking as Joey.
Like that, I guess. Yeah, I would totally blow Slash.
Would you let Joey Ramone fuck you?
Yeah, I would fuck Joey Ramone.
He's such a weird looking dude.
He's a weird looking dude, but I like okay. If we hung out and we hit it off, I would fuck Joey Ramone.
You know what?
But I'm not
talking about
that. Joey Ramone to fuck Joey Ramone. No.
Yeah, and we were just talking about we got to revisit the fucking goddamn it the Famous Dead, because we haven't done a Famous Dead in a while. I really want to do the Ramones. I think you would be perfect. And like I know Bill likes the Ramones too, but I feel like me and you are more. Like we're punk kids, and
I adored the Ramones for a very long time. I've listened to them too much, and now I'm just kind of like, meh, whatever. Well, but I adored them. I would totally do a Ramones series.
I would love to do a Famous Dead and just do the Ramones overall. Talk about each of them.
Yeah, we have a couple Famous Dead that we've been doing, but the camera flickering means we should wrap this up.
Yeah, because you're gonna fucking disappear soon. Shut the fuck up. You never say that on air, because then it's just like you gotta go with the flow, man. Me and Aaron were supposed to do fucking an hour and a half. We went 2.5 hours. Stull also witnessed its fair share of strange deaths. In the early 1990s, a boy was accidentally burned to death. I don't know how you accidentally burned to death.
You set a small fire, it gets out of hand, and you accidentally die.
That's weird. A few years later, a man was found hanging from the tree. Nobody knows why.
That one was fucked up. They were saying how the way that he was positioned wouldn't have been possible for him to kill himself like that. Which, I mean, there's always some speculation in that area, but it's like,
was he black? It was the Klan.
Ooh, it is. Was Kansas? Did Kansas have a bad problem with that? I felt like Kansas was like
in the middle.
Yeah, it was very much there's some Confederacy and there's a lot of like Union in that.
Yeah, and who knows? And you know what? Also, something I'd love to get into. It's just to fucking shit on the KKK, because their history is fucking weird, man. It's a weird tale.
And the NRA links up with them.
Yeah, because, and you know what? I'm a white guy, and I want to cover not Black Lives Matter. No, thank you. But I want to cover the Black Panthers and then the Bloods and Crips. Like, we have all of this on the docket. Like, I have all these interesting sort of episodes that, I feel like normal people wouldn't really touch, but I'm not normal. I'm a strange.
I would love to talk about it. I would love to have somebody on the show qualified to talk about it, though.
Yeah.
Like, we was going to
bring Alex on because Alex is black, and I was like, whatever. Like,
I'm not even talking that though. I'm talking about like somebody that knows the shit. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to have somebody that's
in the KKK.
No, not that shit. No, absolutely not. I'm sure we can scroll online and find somebody that'd be willing to, but no, absolutely not. Because I'm just gonna want to look at him and be like, kill you. You should unalive yourself the entire time. Like,
fucking crazy. Both these events took place near the cemetery on the stretch of road called the Devil's Road, which no longer exists, but it can be found on old maps in the area. The cemetery made national news in 1993 when Pope John Pedophile Paul II had his flight reroute to prevent it from flying directly over the cursed fucking grounds at the cemetery. That's crazy.
Right? How interesting is that? Even the Pope was allegedly like,
I don't want to go there.
Nah, fuck that.
No.
Well, sometimes that is better.
But that in general is fucking weird. Okay, that is weird that he just was like, okay, we're gonna redirect my flight. I'm gonna go to Canada so they can pay me a bunch of millions of dollars to say sorry to the industry.
What a fucking joke that was. Was Pope John Paul II the one that got shot at?
I think so. Yeah, when he was in his Pope Mobile.
No, that was the reason we had the Pope Mobile, wasn't it? Like the Pope Mobile didn't exist before that. That's why it was made.
Yeah, it's like gotta put him in a glass box like he's some fucking action figure. So strange. NRFB. By this time, stories of Stull had spread far and wide, attracting plenty of eager thrill seekers, paranormal enthusiasts. On Halloween night, huge crowds and curious tourists would line up at the gates, hoping to catch a glimpse of the devil as he walked through the rows of graves. And for the YouTube listeners, they'll cut this from the audio. But here's two pictures that supposedly paranormal investigators had caught. It's very crusty. You can't really see too much.
Like all good paranormal photos are.
This one is like, it could be a tree.
Yeah, but there is a little like it's a weird, shady, blurry area, and there's a little something there, and it's probably a leaf. and out of focus. But I mean, who
I
knows?
just want to
It
hang
could
out
be
so we can do
Satan's
our own
balls.
ghost hunting. Could be what?
Could be Satan's balls.
Yeah, that's true. He's sticking his dick out.
Satan's just hanging his balls like, look at it's the bat.
Where's all these guys?
I just watched
man?
Waiting. Have you guys ever seen that funny movie Waiting? And the guy does the goat. I just watched that last night. Now look, it's Satan's balls doing the goat. It's so funny. Why are you not laughing?
Cruise around fucking trees and forests. Why are they not showing up to the graveyard?
Satan's just stroking it next to the tree, going,
What's going on, fellas?
Do you think?
You
think goths cruise the cemetery? It's like
I would say, if they're looking to have sex with other cruising goth men. I've never heard of a goth cruising spot. I don't think there's like, this is a goth cruising spot only. Yeah, well, this is a preppy cruising spot only. This is a turf war, bitch. You can't suck dick over here. You have to go over there. What if I suck your dick? They'll never accept it. With two different factions. No.
That's a love story. Come together. Romeo and Julie Gay.
Romeo and Jiziette.
Yeah. So a local TV station was actually kicked out of the cemetery in 1999. 666 upside down.
666.
All requests to investigate the cemetery have been denied by owners and local authorities. Signs now adorn this rumored portal to hell, warning many to keep away from the dark and obviously, or to keep away after dark, or they risk charges.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously concerned locals also patrol the area, warning visitors to stay away. There's like some fucking dad in bike shorts, like being like, stay away from the cemetery, okay? Stay away.
As soon as you said bike shorts, my brain went to Lieutenant Dangle from Reno 911, and he's just new boot goofing everywhere. It's like, stay away from the. Hey, you kids bring a Ouija board? All right, come on, let's go.
You big goofing.
You guys not being I'm not going to narc on you. I'm not going to narc. I want one. Giving one.
I was walking my I was walking the dog yesterday, and my dad drove by, and Chelsea knows, but I didn't. And my dad loves biking. My dad's a super fucking healthy guy. Like I don't know why he took the clot shot, but like he's beyond belief. Like, but he always gets his flu shot. He's one of those people, but he's like super healthy.
That's why he took it, because he's cautious.
I gotta stay healthy. And Chelsea's like, he was wearing his biking uniform still. Like he had like his tight. He wears the tight shirt because my dad's pretty muscular. Like he does work out. He's always been kind of a fit guy, but he's also shorter than me. So he's like kind of like this, like one of those like stocky shorter guys.
Yeah.
And but I was like, of course he's still wearing his fucking bike outfit. I always joke with him too. I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing? Why do you wear this everywhere you go when you're not at work? Like one of those guys, and I joke. I was like, "You gonna get like the sperm helmet, like the fucking Malcolm in the Middle dad when he goes on the fucking run?"
Oh my god, the power walk!
Yeah, it's fucking so funny.
Great.
He gets in competition with that one guy, and that just got released on Disney or something. Like all the seasons. There's some. I think it was maybe it was Disney. All the seasons of Malcolm in the Middle, and I was like, man, I gotta revisit that again. It's a fucking great show. I don't give a fuck.
I have not watched Malcolm in the Middle after watching Breaking Bad, so it'll be interesting.
Oh man, you should. Oh man, we watched like 2 episodes or 3 episodes recently, and I was like, oh fuck. And I used to watch like a couple years ago, watch it all the time. Like it was such a great show.
Yeah.
But obviously, whatever truth lies behind the spooky stories surrounding the small town of Stull, they have obviously been lost for some time, and the spooky stories, like people obviously still attribute this location to weird spooky stuff, and the legend does persist. But it's hard to deny, obviously, the many strange experiences that people have had visiting America's most diabolical cemetery. And like, I looked at other articles, and there's like the most haunted cemeteries in America. There's always those things. And it's just like, I don't necessarily think that cemeteries are haunted.
No. Well, we talked about that earlier. I think that's probably likely to be the least haunted place.
Yeah, and it's just I don't get that. Like it's strange to me. And you know what? Like I want something. This is kind of a little buffer into the Halloween season because we have a lot of bigger episodes coming up and stuff like that. And what we're gonna be doing for the Halloween special. So get prepared for that. And the thing is, right? I just want to tell everyone out there the Halloween special will be out the Halloween weekend, and make sure to catch it on YouTube. You know what? Like even if you don't, if you listen to this most times in your ear holes with headphones on, like at work, driving your car over a bridge, wherever you do when you're listening to us. You know what? For those specific specials, when we shout them out, make sure to watch them on YouTube. You know, give them the likes because it's a lot more fun and interactive. I had a buddy be like, I listened to the Halloween episode from last year, and he was like, I wasn't getting some of the jokes. I was like, because you didn't watch it. I was like, I try to cut the things that you wouldn't understand. But the thing is, the whole point of fun is like, you know, and go back and even listen to the one from last year, or I mean, watch it because me, Billy, and Alex all dressed up, and it's a lot of fun. That's, you know what I mean? That's the whole point is for you guys to watch those specials because we dress up and, you know, we're now recently playing more videos and pictures and stuff like that. So you can kind of interact and talk with us. But that's why we're hoping to do more live specials. I know that people enjoy like tuning in and popping in and chatting with us. And we do it somewhat on Twitch, but I just want to say that we are talking about doing a little more live specials here and there so people can kind of pop in and maybe not do them around holidays so you can actually join and not be out drunk with your friends.
Do them just for shits and giggles.
I think you're right. When it came to a lot of the live specials, we did it on the weekend where people are out partying or with their family or jerking off their cousin or whatever people do in their spare time, especially in Arkansas. I feel like I gotta leave that alone eventually. But I was driving behind someone who was super slow, and I noticed their license plates in Arkansas. And I was like, "Goddamn fucking Arkansas, cousin,
your mortal enemy,
babies, fucking goddamn." Okay, everybody love everybody. You know what to do, man. Follow us on anywhere you can find us. We're all at Strange Brew Podcast. You know, there's a lot of talks in the future of what's going to happen with Strange Brew. You know, if we're going to start a Discord so the fans can kind of come in and chat with us. We got a lot of things on the go. You know, we love and appreciate everybody who you know, joins in and you know, I mean that we just love all the host heads and Charlie was on. I was trying to bring Charlie on the stream, but he ran away. But you know, everybody love everybody. Okay, you know where to find me at the Reptilian. I'm banned all the time, but you know you can if you're a fan that's curious about my Instagram or my YouTube and stuff, the Reptilian. So all you gotta look up and it's
everywhere.
You Reptilian. Fucking click that shit. Click it, clitoris. All right, where do we find you, Anton?
Oh, you know, pretty much the same thing with HP Shelfcraft. Just look me up, and there I'll be. Except for Twitch, which is of course Invader Daggett TTV. And I did a almost 7 hour stream the other day. So
yeah, what the fuck? I tuned in at the beginning, and I was talking to you, and then I looked later, and I said to Chelsea, I was like, Anton's a streamer for fucking almost 5 hours, and I was like,
6 hours and 40 minutes. I think it was 6 hours and 49 minutes or something silly like that.
Still fucking going.
Yep.
And it's so crazy, and I forgot I'm drinking organic beer on this episode. I didn't, and Billy would be so proud of me that I didn't mention what the fuck I was drinking because he's always like, you don't need to mention it. They know we're drinking. And I'm like, do they though? Do they? I guess we are Strange Brew. And the thing is, that's like, I feel like with the show, I can't ever quit alcohol because it's like, I have to at least have one.
Yeah, fair.
At least one. But you know what? Everybody love everybody, right? And like I said at the beginning of the show, 5-star rate and review us. That's how you support us for free.
It costs you nothing and it gets us into the ears of more people. So if you like us and you think that we should be heard by more, please rate and review 5 stars where you get all of your podcasts.
If you choose to dance on a grave naked, send me the video.
That's my mother you're pissing on.
Yes. Is that from
Dead Alive.
Night of the Living Dead, dude?
Dead Alive.
Return of the Night of the Living Dead. Is it Return of the Living Dead or Return of the Night of the Living Dead?
Return of the Living Dead. There's a whole that's a whole story we'll talk about later. That was because Return of the Living Dead was made by one of the directors of Night of the Living Dead, the one that wasn't George Romero. But that's for another episode. So stay tuned, people.
Yeah, I used to jerk off to that scene. Okay, she has nice boobies and red hair. Everybody love everybody. Stay strange, fuckers.
Keep watching the skies.